A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. After 40 tense days, Washington is finally breathing again as the government shutdown comes to an end. The bipartisan agreement that led to this resolution is already sparking heated debate on Capitol Hill. A coalition of Senate Democrats joined forces with Republicans to push through a deal that reopens the federal government, prevents further layoffs, and ensures essential programs like food assistance remain funded through next September. Known as a minibus, this measure provides full-year funding for various departments, including agriculture, while maintaining current spending levels for most of the government until January 30th. The agreement also reverses former President Donald Trump's earlier plan to permanently cut federal jobs through reduction in force orders, thus restoring job protections for federal employees who have endured weeks without pay. However, in a significant setback for Democrats, the final deal does not include an extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies, a key demand from their side. The expiration of these subsidies could potentially drive up insurance premiums for millions of Americans. Instead, Democrats have accepted a promise that the Senate will hold a separate vote on the issue by mid-December. Yet, there is no guarantee that it will pass, especially with House Speaker Mike Johnson refusing to commit to bringing it to a vote. This bipartisan compromise was spearheaded by Senators Jeanne Shaheen and Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire, along with Angus King of Maine, and received support from Senate Republican leader John Thune and the White House. Approximately 10 Democrats joined all 52 Republicans to give the bill the 60 votes needed to clear the Senate. Reactions within the Democratic Party have been mixed. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer voted against the deal, criticizing Republicans for their refusal to protect Americans from soaring health costs. Progressive Senator Ruben Gallego of Arizona also opposed the agreement, arguing it abandons 24 million Americans who will face doubled premiums. Conversely, some Democrats, like Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, supported the deal, asserting that reopening the government and securing a future vote on health care was a responsible move. Kaine emphasized that lawmakers are aware their constituents expect them to take action, and failing to do so could have electoral repercussions. The Senate is expected to pass the bill within days, sending it to the House, where its future remains uncertain. For now, the shutdown is ending, federal workers are returning to their jobs, and the nation can finally exhale. However, the battle over healthcare subsidies is far from over. Majority Leader John Thune addressed the Senate floor, urging colleagues to expedite the process of final passage on the legislation that would end the shutdown. He expressed his relief that 8 Democrats joined Republicans to take the initial step towards reopening the government. Thune hopes that the very near future translates to hours, not days for the final vote. The deal still faces several procedural hurdles to incorporate all elements of the agreement, including the substitution of the current text with the new continuing resolution and the 3-year-long funding bills. This process could be delayed if any senator opts to slow-walk the final passage. However, the chamber could act quickly if there is consensus to move forward. The Senate convened at 11 a.m. to consider the motion to proceed to the House-passed continuing resolution. While no votes are currently scheduled, Majority Whip John Barrasso's office indicated that roll call votes are anticipated during Monday's session. Writing on Truth Social, former President Trump demanded that air traffic controllers return to work, warning that those who continued to report could receive a bonus. He stated, "All air traffic controllers must get back to work, now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked." For those air traffic controllers who were great patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democrat shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. Trump expressed dissatisfaction with controllers who chose to stop reporting for work during the shutdown, suggesting they would face a negative mark against their record. Despite the Senate deal, flight disruptions continue due to staffing shortages, with over 1,500 flight cancellations and more than 1,400 delays reported according to FlightAware. Speaker Johnson noted that air travel remains chaotic due to reduced staffing levels, urging his House colleagues to return to Washington in anticipation of a vote this week on the final deal. He stated, "I'm stating the obvious to all my colleagues, Republicans and Democrats in the House. You need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We need to do this as quickly as possible. Johnson emphasized that there is much work to be done and that Congress will be working diligently to make up for lost time. In his daily shutdown press conference at the Capitol, Johnson welcomed the Senate's action, expressing relief that the end of the funding lapse is in sight. After 40 days of wandering in the wilderness and making the American people suffer needlessly, some Senate Democrats finally have stepped forward to end the pain. It appears to us this morning that our long national nightmare is finally coming to an end, and we're grateful for that, he said. Johnson also pointed out that the agreement would compel Speaker Johnson to bring the House back in session, as he has been absent since the beginning of September. Senator Shaheen, one of the Democrats who voted to advance the measure, remarked on CBS Mornings that keeping the government shut down for an extended period would not change the outcome. Shaheen, a key negotiator in the talks, highlighted the plight of federal employees who have gone without paychecks, as well as SNAP recipients whose benefits had been uncertain, as reasons for her support of the proposal. While the 8 Democrats who voted for the deal faced criticism from others in their party, Shaheen argued that the focus should be on Trump and the Republicans instead. The final vote to advance the House-passed continuing resolution concluded with a tally of 60-40, with 8 Democrats joining all but 1 Republican to move the bill forward. GOP Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky was the only Republican to vote against advancing the measure. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.